All this SA SBK Series action is proudly brought to you by Bridgestone Motorcycle Tyres and Rapid Bike Tuning. Welcome to the Day of Champions at Zwartkops and kicking off 2020's all-new SA SBK Series. Now on Bridgestone Rubber, we caught up with Roy Gardner to find out about the new changes for 2020.
What we've done for SASBK 2020 is we've got a completely new team running it, and our intention is to bring it back to where it should be. We have Clincella on the Yamaha, of course, defending his title. We've got a very able David McFadden on a Yamaha and a host of other Yamaha riders. A big return to SASBK 2020 is the Kawasaki team in the capable hands of Sheridan Marais and Byron Bester. We will have Blaise Baker on the third Kawasaki for the next event. Then we've got the BMW of Lance Isaacs, and out the box has absolutely shown how fast it is, how fast it's going to be. I believe the racing up front is going to be phenomenal, and we look forward to having great super racing this year.
Superbike racing in South Africa is growing in leaps and bounds, and with Bridgestone coming on board, it is fantastic to see those new R11 cut slicks that'll be out on track for the very first time in a National Championship Series. And a much earlier start to the National Championships than usual because of it being at the Day of Champions. There's a little bit of pressure on the teams to get sorted out. We caught up with ASAP World's Jared Schultz. He'll be participating on the 600s and in Spain.
Just went up in qualifying now. I just rode the Bridgestones actually for the first time with a brand new set. So yeah, I was quite happy with the times I put in at a 1:03.6. For the race, it'll definitely be a good race because Dino is, I think, just 0.1 off. So yeah, looking forward to the battle and definitely going to try go for the win.
Another contender in that Supersport category will be RICARDO OTTO, all the way from George. His dad preps the bike and he's ready to go for 2020.
Struggling a bit with the suspension setup, but I'm positive for the race. Got a good qualifying. I'm 0.7 off first. I'm P3 currently. Hoping to get the podium top 2. So yeah, let's see what happens.
We heard from Roy, the 5-time South African champion. Sheridan Marais is back on the grid, and he'll be looking to equal or even go better than Clincella has in 6 times.
Big change up because obviously racing over season, that's taken up the past years in my life. But with me focusing on the World Endurance Championship these days, I don't get enough riding in. So yeah, luckily enough, I have an opportunity to race over here and represent this team with Kawasaki. So yeah, it's good practice for me as well. So when I get to the World Endurance, I'm ready, I'm riding fit and all of these things. So yeah, I'm very grateful and looking forward to this weekend as well.
Team manager and the reigning champion Clincella will certainly be looking forward to this weekend as he joins DINO IOZZO, and we've already seen him out there doing great.
Done this a few times now, but definitely coming in with a target on your back is always a lot more stressful. But you know, the team's worked super hard the last couple of days, weeks more than days. But starting the year so early is always a challenge. But yeah, we're gonna go as fast as we can and put on the best show, and let's see where we end up.
Great to have a Honda back on the grid. That'll be Sean Vermaak on the Honda. He's part of the Bridgestone Superbikes, which are now part and parcel of the National Championship Series. Support category for regional riders as the rest of these 600 Supersport riders and Superbike riders get ready to go now for race number 1. Nice to see Byron Bester out there on the high-tech racing Kawasaki. Also awesome to see Brett Roberts making a debut in National Superbikes coming from motocross on the Lights by Linear Yamaha. We're ready to go now for race number 1, but we're going to take a short break. We'll see you after that for race 1 action here from Zwartkops, the Day of Champions. Welcome back to round 1 action of the SA SBK Series here at Zwartkops. It's the Day of Champions, which means there's a big crowd out here. Bigger than usual, that's for sure, and certainly enjoying all the action that's been out on track, but also on the kart circuit, regional racing and short circuit racing in full effect. And great to see Adrian SCHULTZ, the big boss man of MSA, looking after both. Coming to the line now and on the grid. This is how they're going to line up for race number 1. Sellers on pole, alongside him Lance Isaacs and David McFadden. Then it's Garrick Flock, Sheridan Marais and his teammate Byron Bester. That's the front row, and all those thousands looking to go and kick some butt and hopefully take some names at the end of this one. Heading up the 600s, and it's the third row. It's Jared SCHULTZ and DINO IOZZO. First of the Bridgestone Superbikes, Hendrik de Bruin. Then you got RICARDO, OTTO, and Sean van Mark with Brett Roberts at the back of the field looking to come through rapidly. As we get ready to go now for race number 1. Joining me for commentary, as always, will be Rob Portman. And as we head down towards turn 1, Rob, this is awesome to see.
Henny the flag, the 1 minute board is up for the first time in 2020 on those Bridgestone R11 tyres. We are underway. The red light goes off. A brilliant start from pole position there for Clint Seller. Looks like David McFadden. Lance Isaacs not with the start that he wanted on that brand new BMW. On board here with 5-time SA champion Sheridan Moraes on the HPC Radiomatic Kawasaki on the inside of Lance Isaacs. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. Carrick Flock with a really good start on that Yamaha machine up into third place.
Nice start there, but red lights went out and red bike went disappearing at the front. And McFadden said, no, I'm going to catch you. He knows what Seller will do. The first 2 laps, Seller's going to push as hard as he can to try and open up a margin. That's his riding style. And David McFadden has stayed right there with him in order to ensure he doesn't get away.
Leading 600 there does look like it was Jared SCHULTZ, DINO IOZZO. Oh no, it's DINO IOZZO, the XTREME King Price machine at the front end of the Supersport, as it is at the front end of the Superbike class. Already massive lean angle. Carrick Flock a little bit out of the seat. Byron Bester trying to go with his teammate there, holding on to the back end of the 1000cc's. Hendrik de Bruin, the first of the Bridgestone Superbikes, just behind RICARDO, OTTO, down into the final turn. Lance Isaacs trying to make a move there on Sheridan Moraes. Limited track time for Sheridan Moraes. Didn't get out on Thursday practice. Trying to make up for it now in race number 1.
Steve Cannon giving the board there to Seller as he heads down towards turn 1, completing lap 1. And you can see it's Seller at the front. In the 600s is his teammate who leads out the 600. So DINO IOZZO. And under pressure there from McFadden. And there comes Isaacs. Isaacs diving through and getting through on Sheridan Moraes into turn 2.
Oh, Jared SCHULTZ gets it wrong going into turn 2. He runs straight. RICARDO, OTTO up into second place.
De Bruin looking for a chance to get through on those 2 600s. Remember, he's got 400cc's more power to play with. Hopefully he can make a move and get through because they might be holding him up slightly. Isaacs now through on Sheridan, looking to close down on Carrick Flock. He's only a couple of bike lengths up the road.
Here we go, on board with David McFadden to the top of the hill. This is where those front tyres really get put under pressure. McFadden locks it up. Oh, Seller goes down. A big black line from the front end of that tyre. Just too much lean angle, too much brake, and your champion is down.
In the first race of the season on the second lap, and you can see disappointment. He is absolutely distraught. He knows he's made a big mistake there. Still on some cold rubber there. I don't think they're quite up to temperature just yet. And he's gone into turn 5 and put it down.
You've got to do that on the Bridgestone tyres. You've got to get heat into them for optimum temperature. And Lance Isaacs on the brand new 2020 S1000RR BMW machine. He's just rolled that bike out. Dean Ferreira has done an incredible job as there's the number 1 plate pulling into pits. But Lance Isaacs is up into second place. He has on board now once again. Top of the hill. You can see gets it a little bit out of shape. Too much pressure, too much lean angle, and just couldn't do a Marc Marquez and bring it back.
Yeah, but look at how McFadden had to sit it up in the last minute there to avoid the sliding Seller. Very lucky not to go into the back of him. So it's now McFadden leading out. Lance Isaacs with a bit of pressure now from Flock. Flock is absolutely hauling. We saw just how good he was last year at the end of the season, and now starting this way, he could potentially be a big threat at the front end to the usual contenders.
McFadden, this is the real McFlash. This is the McFlash we've been waiting and wanting to see over the last couple of seasons. There is the second of the HPC Radiomatic Kawasaki machines. Byron Bester, DINO IOZZO still leading out in the Supersport 600s. There, Sean van Mark on the Honda CBR 1000 machine sponsored by Centurion Honda.
Oh, Brett Roberts. Oh, he's normally used to going off-road on the motocross. Thank goodness he knows motocross skills because he get that bike upright. The lights by Linear Yamaha getting completely out of shape into Kenwood. It's a double right-hander, can catch you out rapidly. Fortunately, he didn't go down.
How did he hang on to that? The motocross skills coming into play. They've got some kind of issue there. Trying to look. There's something dangling off the bike. Not too. Are there brakes? Just no brakes left on that machine. Easy to do at Zwartkops. Oh, he did so well. Watch this. This is motocross skill on a 200 or 170 horsepower Supersport 600. Let's catch up with him and see what happened.
My brakes failed going into turn, I think 6 at the tabletop at the top there. And I just had no front brakes coming into the corner, so I had to go off the track, managed to keep it up. But you can't finish a race with no front brakes, so I had to pull off.
How close does he look to Tommy Hayden? Right, back to the front. This is McFadden now under attack from Isaacs. Isaacs looking for a chance to debut this bike with a debut victory. Can he do it now, or is McFadden going to make him pay?
Yeah, McFadden at the top of the hill. Oh, he gets it locked up. Is he going to stop that machine? Yes, he does. McFadden also on the brand new 2020 Yamaha R1 machine. So 2 brand new machines rolled out for the first time at the front end of this SASBK series race on those Bridgestone tyres. Lance Isaacs is trying everything he possibly can to get ahead of McFadden. Throws that leg out, closing the line, and Isaacs no room to make the move there into the final turn.
Oh, we only got a couple of laps to go with these two going at it this hard. Is there going to be some issues between them, and is Flock possibly going to take the victory? Sheridan Moraes will then be in second, and Byron Byron Best blew in third. They're currently 2, 3, 4, and 5, and absolutely nothing in it at this stage between the first two. IOZZO still hanging on to the lead of the 600s, but he's got some big pressure now coming from RICARDO OTTO.
There's Sheridan Moraes, HPC Radiomatic Kawasaki machine. Like I said, no practice on the Thursday official practice. Literally came on the Bridgestone tyres around Zwartkops for the first time on race day. So wait for them to get that machine sorted. Ricky Moraes, the man behind it. When they do, that Kawasaki's going to be dicing at the front end with the Yamaha and the BMW. So impressed with these new machines, especially that new BMW in the hands of Lance Isaacs. To be doing the lap times these boys are doing. Oh, Isaacs almost into the back of McFadden at the top of the hill. Just singing his praises, and he goes and makes a move like that. But the lap times on these new Bridgestone tyres, 101s from the word go. This is just hats off to everyone, and I can't wait for the rest of the season. This is epic stuff.
And there's just more and more riders that have shown interest now that they've got these Bridgestone tyres, and all of a sudden, big interest being shown in National Superbikes again. This is what it's all about in National Supersports. Look at the battle here. SCHULTZ now on Otto, looking for a possibility of spoiling the day there for Otto. Can Otto keep him all together? Here comes Jared Schultz on the inside of turn 8. G&H Transport Corner, usually a good overtaking maneuver for a 600, but this time he can't make it stick.
DINO IOZZO, he's at the front end of the Supersport, so he's a little bit further up. He has the battle overall for the race lead in the Superbike Series. David McFadden on board. Listen to this R1. That's a big bang R1. Flat out, fourth gear through turn number 3. Lights it all up. Those Bridgestone tyres are under massive pressure. Lance Isaac still no way past. Oh, this will be epic stuff. This is final lap time. Top of the hill, that's his last chance.
Watch the run up the hill there from the BM. He's in the slipstream. Can he pull out and maybe get him on the brakes? The foot is out there from McFadden. He goes. Lance Isaacs has a big look. Can he get through? Oh, he's going to run wide. He just wasn't able to stop the bike. And there goes McFadden, returning the favour as they're going to Kenwood. He retakes the lead, and there's 2 bike lengths there. I don't think Isaacs is going to come back from there.
I was just going to say the biggest advantage that the R1 has over even that new BM is under braking, and you could see it there. McFadden could get the bike stop. Isaac still got some work to do for the braking of that machine, but across the line for the first time in 2020, it is the return of McFlash, David McFadden, on the brand new Yamaha 2020 R1 machine, just ahead of Lance Isaacs on that brand new Bavarian S1000RR. What an epic way to start the season. Here is your Supersport winner, DINO IOZZO. Remember, your World Supersport 300 rider as well on the King Price Extreme Insurance Yamaha machine. Brilliant stuff there from him. We wait now for the first of our Bridgestone Superbike riders that will be in the hands of Sean Stotkart for Mark.
Sean for Mark on the Honda taking the win there, but their confirmation of the results. McFadden and Isaacs, Cape Town in the house ahead of Flock. Then it was Byron Bester down in 5th place, just behind his teammate. IOZZO taking the 600s. Great start to the season. And that's exactly what McFlash wanted.
You know, it's the first time for us on the Bridgestone tyres in a race situation. Obviously, we've been practicing on them the last week, but you know, you got to learn them in a race, and it was quite interesting to find where the strong and the weak points are. And I'm really happy for my first race. You know, we're out on a brand new 2020 R1, which is virtually stock. We've just got exhaust and fairings and suspension, so you know, we proved we can do it, and we'll have to just keep coming back race after race.
Sir Lancelot in 2nd place. Got to work some on the brakes, but let's see how he felt about the race.
The bike bogged down off the start, so I don't know if that was still a problem with the brakes binding, but it seemed to come right, left me down in 5th. But once I got past a couple of the guys and put my head down to chase down David, I caught him pretty easily. Just unfortunate that, you know, the circuit conditions weren't the greatest in that race. The front end was washing all race long. I was much stronger than David up at the top section, but you know, he's got a very weird line that he takes into 5, and unfortunately I had to force a passing maneuver just to try to make something happen on the last lap. We almost collided a few times, which is why I kept yo-yoing off the back of him. But yeah, you know what, I'm pretty confident the bike is good. We've got the pace to win, and I'm pretty sure that we'll pull off the win in the next one.
3rd place was the big man on the Diamond Core Drilling Yamaha, Garrick Flock.
Yeah, it feels good. The new Bridgestone tyres need a bit of work. We need to set them up. But with every session going out, they're feeling better and better.
Flying the flag in the 600s was the King Price Extreme Yamaha of DINO IOZZO.
Yeah, you know, we feel it was a really good race. My team and I, we worked very hard on finding a really good suspension for this weekend. Went into qualifying, we put it on 2nd, very close to pole, so we knew it would be a close race. Really good start. We went into the lead from there, and we just kept our head down and managed to bring home the win for our team.
Otto Racing in 2nd place, looking good from the start.
The first few laps I struggled getting my pace. I got a lot of pressure from Jared Schultz, but eventually I just got smooth and kept it all together. I'm happy with my 2nd place, and let's see what happens in race 2.
Welcome back to our coverage of the SASBK series here at Zwartkops, the Day of Champions. A couple of little adjustments that need to be made, a couple of guys with some problems. Hendrik de Bruin was having some fueling issues, hopefully he can get that all sorted out. They're checking the lap times and getting ready to go now. A couple of suspension adjustments as well were required. And now with the heat of the day, Rob, I think there's going to be a couple of little adjustments to the tyre pressures as well.
Yeah, they do really need to look at everything now. Remember, the first time in the season, so a lot of these guys still using this as testing. Certainly the HPC Radiomatic Kawasaki team using it. Brett Roberts, great introduction to National Supersport racing for him. Let's hope he sorted those brake issues out. And watch out for this man on that new BMW. It's going to be a real contender for the win. And Sheridan Rice, great having the 5-time champ back in the house.
Flock looking to get one step higher, possibly two if he can. He's got to beat McFadden and Isaacs, but now with the return of the king, 6-time champion is back on the grid. Can Sella do anything about McFadden and Isaacs?
Yeah, he's got to make amends for that race 1 crash. We've seen it so many times where Sella makes his little mistakes early on, but he comes back thick and fast. On board with Sheridan Rice on the HPC Radiomatic Kawasaki. Brilliant launch as always there, but the Yamahas look like they're touching handlebars almost going into turn 1 there, McFlash and Sella.
They squeezed him out actually. He wanted to go up the middle and try and thread the needle, but there was no needle to be threaded, no hole to be gained, and he had to back out of it. So he goes down into 5th place into turn 2. SCHULTZ with a better start. OTTO around his outside, but I think IOZZO, yes, he's got through again and got the whole shot in the 600s.
On board, with David McFadden, Clint Sella, King Price Extreme Insurance number 1 machine there just ahead of him. So as you were from race number 1, Lance Isaacs with a much better start this time. Carrick Flock right on his tail. Mariah's coming in. DINO IOZZO ahead of Byron Bester there, the leading Supersport 600. Hendrik de Bruin, your leading Bridgestone Superbike rider, although he stepped up into the National Series now. Sella at the top of the hill. This is where he made the mistake. No such problem this time, but had it all kinds of crossed up going into turn number 5.
I don't think he's going to make the same mistake again. He realizes it takes a couple more laps to get the heat into the rubber. Once the heat's there, though, these R11s are incredible. And you could see the kind of pace we saw in race number 1, getting down into the 101s, Rob, for the very first time at National Superbike level. That is incredible.
Yeah, I know Ian Harwood and the whole team from Bridgestone South Africa really happy with what they've done at round number 1. Yeah, it's only going to get better. Sheridan Mariah there, great to see and have the international superstar back with us. Plenty things to come from that team. Watch out, but it's the 2 Yamahas out front at the moment. Sella on his last year's championship winning bike, McFlash on that brand new 2020 machine.
The 3rd Yamaha losing a little bit of ground there to Lance Isaacs as they went into turn 3. Look at this. Oh, that's just fantastic. Late apex there from Sheridan. Look at the revs into the red and everything she's got out of that Kawasaki. Just a little bit of pace to be found, I think, for both those bikes. And I'm sure that Ricky's going to be working hard to ensure that by the next time they come, which is back here at Zwartkops, we'll be ready to go.
Ricardo OTTO, the man from George on the OTTO racing machine, just sitting there in 3rd place in the Supersport at the moment at the top of the hill once again. It is Sella holding off McFlash. Lance Isaacs there in 3rd place. Remember, they've got 2 sets of tyres they can play with over the couple of days, so it might be a new set of rubber fitted for a couple of these riders. Flat out stuff. 3rd gear, McFlash is lining up something on the inside, but to get past Sella, you can see what Sella does. He brakes and he just closes that line, not allowing you to put it on the inside. Very hard man to pass. Is the 6-time South African champion.
Got a 4-time Western Province champion and 2-time SA champion on his tail. It's the race of champions here at the Day of Champions. There's no doubt about it. As they come under braking down into turn 2, it's your Thunderbike champion. That's all over the back of them there. And Lance Isaacs now wants to step it up. Remember, this is the one crown he has not got yet in that arsenal of his.
On board, with McFadden once again. Rev limiter on that Big Bang R1 as they come through turn number 3. Not going to make it stick there. The Lance Isaacs Super BMW there in 3rd place. I've just tested it. That machine, everyone at Zwartkops would have heard through the corners. That bike runs on 2 cylinders to help with the traction. Then it gives all she's got to the top of the hill. So that's going to get bigger and better. Both Yamaha riders sideways at the top of the hill. How do they get that stop? It sounds like it's a false neutral. They're just getting it sideways and trying to get those bikes stopped. Sella, more massive moment from Sella. I saw that rear tyre starting to light up and it gave him a huge bucking bronco coming into the final turn. Now Sella doesn't look 100% happy with the setup on that motorbike. He is braking late, closing the lines. He's pretty much just defending that lead as much and as hard as he possibly can at the moment. He doesn't have the bike underneath him to try and go for this race, I don't think.
No, certainly not the same one as the Stunt SA and King Price bikes. We can see the difference between those 2 Yamahas, and McFadden seems so much more confident on the bike. He's just able to turn it a bit better. Let's see if Sella can keep them all at bay. Lance Isaacs waiting for something to go wrong. Further back, Lights Millennia, Yamaha under pressure there at the back end from the Honda, and Sean Vermaak having a great dance there with the new rookie in the series. And you can see Brett Roberts this time a little bit more comfortable now that he's got some brakes.
Yeah, and first time out at Zwartkops Raceway. He's only been out of Cape Town a couple of times, so brilliant stuff there from the young superstar. Top of the hill again. Is Sella going to keep it neat and tidy? Again, you can see that bike, all kinds of out of shape going in there. Oh, man! massive. How did Clint Seller hang on to that King Price Extreme Yamaha machine? You can see that puts Lance Isaacs all kind of out of shapes. Seller is on a bucking Bronco. Seller is holding on to a machine that does not want him on it. McFadden needs to get past as soon as he possibly can, because at the moment, race pace is nowhere near what it can be, because Seller is just defending for his life.
He certainly is, and the one thing you got to take into account is, as we always say, you have to be able to ride around any problems that your bike might be giving you, that you might be having, in order to win 6 national championships. That's exactly what he's done, and he's now having to do it again. He didn't quite expect to do it at the first round, though.
Yeah, that bike, they've got, like I said, a lot of riders using this as testing, set up those Bridgestone tires for the first time. McFadden, has he put a move on the inside in turn number 3? If he's pulled that off, that has got to be one of the bravest moves in the history of moves. Yes, he has. McFadden now at the front end of the field, so Seller couldn't quite defend there, and now he's got to try and hold off the charge coming from Lance Isaacs.
Through turn 3, that is a massive amount of cojones. Seller under the braking, and he's on the inside. He's tucking it onto the knee slider of McFadden. That is incredible stuff. This is National Superbikes back in the house big time.
This is what Seller does. He's doing an old Rossi at Laguna Seca. If he doesn't have the pace, he knows he's got to fight back. Garrick Flock! Oh, that is massive. That is turn number 4, going into turn number 4. That might be a braking issue there for... Oh, great to see the big man getting up. That is a massive tumble. That's 200 k's an hour plus with no brakes. Great to see him up and walking away.
Walks away there, very fortunate. Let's have a look and see as we go here into turn 4. Problems for Isaacs. Isaacs runs wide. He got through on Seller earlier on, and now Seller returns the favour. So Lance Isaacs just getting caught up. Maybe just saw the man walking away and was caught with a bit of fixation there. Fortunately, though, he stays on track and in 3rd place. Now Seller looking to hunt back down on McFadden, but McFlash has upped and ducked. He is getting away because he's got a bike that is working a little better than the R1 behind him.
Oh, McFlash, back to the old McFlash days. This is the replay of Carrick Flock. That ended very early. He wasn't even in the turn yet, but we've seen that so many times here at Zwartkops. They've extended that runway, and that is exactly why. So big up to Zwartkops for doing that. Great to see that Carrick Flock is up and okay.
And that's exactly why you wear the kind of leathers he does and the helmet he does, because if you have a moment like that and another moment there, that was the moment earlier on from Clint Seller as he got out of shape. Here's the other look. How is he hanging on to this thing? Only he knows.
Yeah, that is when the gym fitness and those heavy weights come into play, my China, because you need to hold on to that bike as hard as possible. DINO IOZZO right on the back end there of Byron Bester, still out front in the Supersport class, but here is the man who has just put in a masterclass ride. This is why this man has been overseas and raced. This is why this man has won SA titles. David McFlash at the front end, but now it is final lap, a couple of turns left. Can Lance Isaacs put that Superbets BMW ahead of the King Price Insurance Yamaha R1?
Well, we're going to have a double victory here for McFlash, but this is going to be a double second place. There goes Isaacs. Isaacs has a look, and as we go through here, Isaacs should potentially get through on Seller. Let's see if Seller's able to keep him out. Yes, he is. Only just. Wow, Seller had to get on the loud pedal quickly there to get through. Isaacs in second. He'll get second overall for the day, but he takes 3rd in the second heat here of the SA SPK Championship.
There's the overall results in McFadden ahead of Seller and Isaacs. Marais in 4th, Byron Bester, DINO IOZZO, your leading Supersport 600 rider ahead of Jared Schultz, Hendrik de Bruyn and Sean Vermaak. What an incredible way to start off the 2020 season. Let's catch up with David McFadden, first double in a long time.
Yeah, it feels good to obviously win again. I mean, we've been working really hard to get back here, and it's been a long time since I've kind of been able to win 2 races back to back and win properly. So yeah, I'm really happy. I must say big thanks to my team. RPM's have been working flat out just to get us set up to work for the tyres and to make me comfortable. So I'm really happy with the bike, and you know, we're on a new bike and it's working well from the word go. And at the end of the day, I must, you know, thanks to my team and my business has been put everything into it to make sure we're there, and my personal sponsor Stunt to say, and everyone else behind me that's, you know, made it possible. I'm really happy, and I hope we can just keep it up from here, and I'm excited for a good year racing.
Second overall for the day on the brand new Bavarian machine, it's Lance Isaacs.
We've got so much more to learn, and I'm looking forward to the next race. We've got a lot of testing to be done in the next couple of weeks leading up to the next round. We haven't even scratched the surface on this new BMW S1000 RRM. I must say a massive thank you to BMW South Africa, Creative Concepts, Dean and his dad. They've done an absolutely superb job. And all our partners, Martin Petzel from MP Custom and Oland's, he's actually made that learning curve a hell of a lot less steep as we thought it would be. But onward and upward, and I think the boys need to be worried about us for the rest of the season, because we're only getting started.
Third overall Team Green rider, and the share shuffle is back. It's Sheridan Rice.
Not too bad. I mean, obviously everyone wants to win, yeah, and that's what makes it hard, but happy with that. Unfortunately, we weren't able to practice here on the Wednesday and the Thursday like everyone else, because I had issue with licenses and stuff, but managed to sort it out, and MSA tried to get everything sorted out, and luckily I was here on race day. So yeah, to come away with the third overall is lekker. I'm happy for the team and for all the guys that have worked so hard to get the bikes ready in such a short time. And thanks to you guys and everybody that's been here. Yeah.
Heading down to the Bridgestone podium then, three of SA's finest riders ever, and as I said, what a way to kick off the 2020 SA SPK series. I cannot wait for the rest of the season. Well done to all of our riders here today.
Moving on to the 600s though, and a double in the day for the King Price team, DINO, IOZZO.
Oh, it feels great. It really feels great leading this the Supersport 600 Championship. Couldn't have asked for a better weekend. The team has worked really great. Really fortunate to have them by my side. Huge shout out to Racecraft for preparing the beast that I rode today and managed to take the double win. Really happy.
Let's have a look at the championship after the first round. McFadden and Isaacs the top of the field with Marias there in third. DINO IOZZO will be making his way to the Supersport 300s, and Jared Schultz off to Spain, so look out for big action from them at the next round. There's no doubt about it. This championship is on a knife edge. There's the Bridgestone podium there for the 600cc's. Our next round is back at Zwartkops on the 14th of March. All this SA SPK series action is proudly brought to you by Bridgestone Motorcycle Tyres and Rapid Bike Tuning.